Bitcoin is down about 40 to 50% right now, and at the same time, almost everything else is making new all-time highs. Stocks, gold, AI names, one red line going down for Bitcoin, everything else a green line going up. Now, you're going to hear two explanations for this. One, that Bitcoin is finally broken, and two, it's being manipulated, and both of those are completely wrong. Here's what's actually happening right now. The biggest pool of money in the world moves along one single line. It's pulled by one force, and right now, that force is dragging money away from Bitcoin and into everything else. Now in this video, I'm going to show you exactly where your money sits on that line, the one force that's about to flip it, and how to see the turn before everyone else does. And stick with me until the end of this video, because once you understand this, the one line that I'm about to show you, you're going to see something that most investors are completely missing right now. And that retail investors like you and I are actually sitting on a generational wealth opportunity. I can't explain why yet until I show you that one line, but once I do, you're gonna have a major light bulb moment, so stick with me. All right, so the first thing that we need to get into is that Bitcoin is broken. Mate, Bitcoin's been declared dead more times than I can count. Every cycle on the way down, the haters come out of the woodworks, and every cycle, it's a different reason why it has been broken. Second is it's being manipulated. The banks, BlackRock, Sailor, China, pick your boogeyman. Look, price tells us what's happening, but it doesn't tell us why. And if we want to invest properly, we need to understand why, the actual mechanics. So before I show you what actually moved, let me prove to you that nothing fundamentally has changed with Bitcoin. Think about what a 40% drop is supposed to mean. It's supposed to mean that something actually broke. So let's actually check. There's still only going to be 21 million Bitcoin, and there only ever will be 21 million Bitcoin. That cap hasn't moved, and it never will. It's still the number one decentralized store of value asset on the planet. Nothing has knocked it off the perch. It's still secured by the biggest computer power network in the world, full of miners, the hash rate, all that raw computing power defending the chain. And that security is actually stronger than it's ever been. And it's still got an enormous base of demand sitting in the ETFs. Now, I'm going to be straight with you because you would have seen in the headlines, the ETFs just had the worst stretch since they launched. A record outflow streak, billions walking out the door, enough to wipe out this year's net inflows. That selling is a big part of why price is dropping right now, and I'm not going to spin that. But here's what I want you to understand. An ETF is just a pipeline. It's a vehicle that moves money into and out of Bitcoin. And right now, that pipe is flowing out. But the pipe itself has not gone anywhere. It's still sitting there, plumbed in, ready to flow the other way the moment conditions change. And here's the number one thing that nobody puts in the headline. Even after that record outflow streak, the cumulative money still parked in these funds is about $55 billion. The demand base didn't pack up and leave. The vehicle to pour money back into Bitcoin still is bolted in place. And later in this video, I'll show you exactly what I'm watching to know when that flow is going to come back into Bitcoin. And more importantly, the why behind those outflows is the whole point of this video. And it's got nothing to do with Bitcoin being broken. So run the checklist. Supply is the same, status is the same, security is the same, the structural demand is still there, the pipe is still connected. Nothing fundamentally has changed. What has changed is the flow of money along that risk line, and that's exactly what I'm about to show you. So let me give you the one idea that makes all of this click. Money behaves like energy. It doesn't get created out of thin air, and it doesn't vanish. It transfers. When Bitcoin drops 40%, that money didn't evaporate out of thin air. It went somewhere. And if it went somewhere, the only real question is, what's going to make it come back? Everything comes down to this one line. On the left, safe, low risk, low return. On the right, risk, high reward. Every asset on earth sits somewhere on this line. Notice where Bitcoin sits, furthest on the right. Its highest potential return, highest risk. And just to its left, just a little notch to the left, is AI. Real companies, real cash flow, real assets behind them. Bitcoin's got none of that. It's a pure asset, no cash flow, so AI is the slightly safer seat right next to Bitcoin on the risk end. And here's the rule that runs the whole thing. Money only travels as far out on that line as it has to get the return that it needs. All right, so let's use a little bit of an analogy to really make this sink in. Think about it like a footy team protecting a lead in a football match. When you're 2 goals up with time on the clock, you play it safe. Keep possession, no risky kicks. Just control the game. You don't need to take risks because you're already winning. But as the other team claws back and that margin starts to shrink, you start taking on more risk. Once the scores get level, you're going to start going at contests harder. If you actually fall behind late in the game and suddenly, all of a sudden you're throwing the ball on the boot and hoping for the best, taking on risk as much as you can. And the reason for that is that safe footy of chipping it around isn't going to win you the game anymore. Now here's the key to understand with the analogy of footy versus investing. That scoreboard margin, the 2 goals up, that's the interest rate compared to inflation. When the safe return, such as interest in the bank, is paying you way more than what inflation is, your 2 goals up, you sit back on the safe end of the line and you win comfortably. But as that margin starts to shrink, as the safe return is barely beating inflation or it stops beating it at all, the scores are leveling up. Now safe footy will not cut it. You're forced further out on the line, taking on more risk just to get ahead and actually beat inflation. Money is exactly the same. It takes on exactly as much risk as it's forced to, and not a notch more. So when you can sit on the safe end and get a solid return from interest in the bank, money stays on the left side. When the safe return dries up and money is forced to travel right out towards stocks, AI, and eventually Bitcoin, chasing a return it can't get safely. That movement left and right along this line is actually what drives Bitcoin's price. Not adoption headlines, not Elon Musk tweets. It's that movement of money going from left, low risk, to right, higher risk. So if money slides right when safe returns are bad, then Bitcoin crashing tells you something. Safe returns just got good again. The safe end of the line got more attractive and money slid back left out of Bitcoin. Let me show you exactly why that happened. And this is where it actually gets really interesting because the trigger is the opposite of what most people think. For risk assets like Bitcoin, a strong economy is now actually bad news. Sounds backwards, but stay with me. The Feds started cutting rates in 2025, and it wasn't because they'd beaten inflation. They cut rates because the job market was looking soft. Inflation never actually got back to 2% target. Then the picture changed. Inflation came roaring back. It's now sitting at 3.8%, the hottest reading since 2023, driven hard by the Iran war, pushing energy prices up. And the jobs data came in hot. Job openings didn't just tick up, they surged to 731,000 in a single month to 7.6 million, the most since May 2024. Now here's the honesty bit, because I'm not going to spin it. Hiring actually fell at the same month. So it's not a roaring jobs boom, it's a low hire, low fire market with a big jump in openings. But for the Fed, openings surging plus inflation at 3.8% is enough to slam the door on rate cuts. And that has triggered the most hawkish repricing since the post-pandemic period. Going into 2027, the base case is now a rate hike. Markets price roughly a 77% chance of at least one rate hike happening before January 2027, with 2 or more hikes at about 32% chance. And that is a dramatic turnaround from the up to 4 rate cuts that the market was pricing in just months ago. So to flip back to our line, the safe end where the risk-free return lives just got a whole lot stronger. If you can park money safely and the next move is rates going up, why on earth would big institutional money sit out on the right where Bitcoin is? The reward of Bitcoin simply isn't there anymore for the risk. So the energy has slid to the left out of Bitcoin back towards safe assets and even safer assets like the AIC. And here's the thing, you don't have to take my word for it because we can watch it happening in real time. Remember those ETF outflows I mentioned earlier in the video? That's not a random selling. That is the energy sliding left. That's the picture, live. Billions of dollars leaving risk assets like Bitcoin in the exact weeks the safe return got more attractive. The analysts spelled it out themselves. The money left Bitcoin because strong jobs data killed the rate cuts and made safe yield-bearing bonds more attractive than things like non-yielding assets such as Bitcoin. That is our risk line in the headlines, in real money. They're not selling because Bitcoin broke, they're selling because the safe seat finally pays again. That is the whole story. Bitcoin is not broken, it isn't being manipulated, it's sitting in the furthest riskiest seat on the line, and risk-free return just got strong enough to pull the big money home. That's it. So how do you see the flip coming before everyone else does? Forget the calendar, the big money doesn't trade dates, it trades conditions. Watch for 4 things. First, the real return on safe money, rates versus inflation. When safe money stops paying after inflation, the energy gets forced back towards the right side as people need to take on more risk to get ahead of inflation. Second is the direction of rates. Are hikes getting priced in or are cuts being priced in? Right now, it's hikes being priced in. The day that flips back towards rate cuts is the day we'll start seeing money flow back towards Bitcoin. Third is the 4-year cycle, where we are relative to the Bitcoin halving. The history is there and it's hard to ignore. I know a lot of people, and even myself, were getting sucked into the 4-year cycle is broken. However, more than ever, it's really back on the cards right now. So watching those date lines of where Bitcoin tends to perform within the 4-year cycle is something important to watch, and I'll be reporting it in my following videos. If you're struggling to keep up with the market, make sure that you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss anything. Anything major that comes through, I'll be updating my audience. And furthermore, if you're wanting to take advantage of this life-changing opportunity, what I'm calling a wealth generation opportunity, then make sure that you click the link in the description of this video. It's going to take you to register for my live webinar that I run every second Thursday at 5 p.m. Now, this webinar is where I show you exactly what my blueprint strategy has been over the past 10 years and how I've made generational wealth for myself and my family through investing in Bitcoin. If you are interested in that, click the link, register for the video, and I can't wait to see you there. Now let's get back to the video. The 4th and final point is the ETF flows. Remember that pipe that I was explaining, it's still connected. Right now, it's draining money out of Bitcoin. And the day that those outflows stop and start turning into inflows again is the day that money is starting to slide back into Bitcoin. And that's the real time tell. You can watch it week to week. When the pipe reverses, the transfers back has begun. When safe returns start falling again, and given the size of the government's debt, eventually they're gonna have to, the energy gets pushed back out the line. And the furthest seat out, the one that's been beaten down the most, tends to catch the most of it on the way back up. And that's Bitcoin. We're literally down 40 to 50% from all-time highs, whilst other assets have continued to run to their all-time highs. Now, here's the part I really want you to hear. Everything that I just described, the money sliding left out of Bitcoin, that institutional money, pension funds, sovereign funds, the big desk, they're moving billions. So they physically cannot afford to sit in the riskiest seat when the risk-free return looks so good. Now, their size forces them to be cautious. That's not conviction, that's just maths on a balance sheet. But you're not moving billions of dollars. Your risk profile can be wider, but you're not moving billions of dollars. Your risk profile can be wider than theirs precisely because you're a small and nimble player in the market, just like I am. The institutions have to step off the risk end of the line. You don't have to. You get to decide based on conviction, not on a fund mandate. And this is the bit that matters the most. Nothing has fundamentally changed about Bitcoin. The network, the supply cap, the thesis, none of it has changed. The only thing that changed is the price, and the price moved because the institutional risk calculation that has nothing to do with Bitcoin's actual value. Price is what you pay short term, value is what you get for holding long term. Don't let a short term price move, one that's driven by someone else's risk math, shake a long term conviction. The big money is being pulled off the line by force. You're choosing where you sit on the line. And that's the edge. And there it is. That's the light bulb moment I promised you at the start. The institutions are being forced to sell to the furthest seat on the left of the line. However, you can decide where you sit on the line. And as long as you have that long-term conviction in the riskier asset like Bitcoin, that's the generational wealth opportunity that I'm taking advantage of. Now, I can't make it more clear. None of this is financial advice. It's just how I think about the market. So to recap, Bitcoin's not dead and it's not rigged. Money behaves like energy. It slides along that risk line. And right now, a strong, safe return is pulling big institutional money left, out of the further seat, which is Bitcoin on the right. When that flips, and watch real yields and rate directions to see it, the energy comes back from the left and into the higher risk side on the right. And the people who understood the engine instead of panicking at the price are the ones who are positioned for it. Hopefully this video has helped you actually understand how money moves in the market and where the opportunity lies for retail investors. If you got value out of this video, please subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be keeping you up to date with everything that's going on and how I'm positioning myself in the market. And if you're ready to take that next step and actually get ahead with your investing, make sure you register for my live webinar held every second Thursday at 5 p.m. I can't wait to see you there.